Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Libra June 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, this is an interesting deck this month. Do you know, it was very generously given to me by someone about 4 or 5 years ago, I think, and I never touched it. And then about 6 months ago, it was as if your planet Venus, the relationship planet and also the planet of attraction, said, I am attracted to you, Nigel, and you are attracted to me, and now your heart will see what is contained within me. And it opened up. It just opened up. And since then it's been extremely accurate. So I'm pleased to be sharing it with you today. Now, of course, you might know that over the last month, I've provided a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings to people from different countries around the world over FaceTime and Skype. And I don't really use any tarot in those. It's the gift of clairvoyance, maybe a tiny bit of tarot. But if you might be interested in seeing what's involved in that, because I did a number of Librans over the course of the last month, then just have a look at the information that's contained in the description at the end of the video. Now, the other thing which I've done over the last month, now, of course, I have to charge for the clairvoyant readings, but what I don't charge for, what is provided for free, is the gift of healing, which was also provided to me at birth. I don't know why, it just was, and it's what I've been doing for well over 40 years now. And the thing is that the healing, it doesn't come from me. I am like the fiber optic cable between being itself and maybe you, to infuse the healing from being itself. And so if you've got any emotional or things that you're worried about or concerns that need healing, just please do feel free to just reach out to me in accordance with the information in the description at the end of the video, because it's my spiritual duty to provide it, and I'm very happy to do so, and I will be fulfilling my soul contract at the same time, because I'm not going to be here forever, and so I want to make the most of those things which have been provided to me. Now we're going to take 5 cards, that's all we need, because we don't just spend 5 seconds on a card, do we? Oh no, we do not. They're very talkative, and so let's get it underway and show me the magic. The Emperor, great to see the subscribers again, by the way. Thank you for inviting me into your home. I love seeing you each month, truly I do. I really look forward to it. What's this? The Devil. Is that you? Well, let's have a look. And what's here? The King of Cups. The good old Lord of Winds and Breezes. The Waves and Waters. The Ace of Swords. Lord of Waves and Waters. And there's the Four of Swords. Great. Well, I'll bring the camera around, and why don't you then now, we'll just have together a good close look at the imagery that's on these cards while the energy speaks to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. Gee, this is a good set of energy that's here. What's around? Oh, I'm getting a Libra here. Let's have a look. What do we have in this picture? Let's see what's going on, shall we? Jupiter in Libra is what I have. Now look, there is a woman. What time of day would you call that? Is it night? Is it twilight perhaps? And she's sort of half submerged in a water course, maybe a stream or a pond. And I notice that these trees here, they are embedded, almost branded with the signs of the elements, such as, for example, that would be earth, that would be air, your sign, and fire and water, that's there. And what's interesting also is that there are some spirit animals that are around. There's one 2, 3 ravens that I can see, and a cat. What's that cat doing up there? That is indicating courage to face mystery. There's a couple of little white doves I noticed there. They refer to love and peace. And one of these ravens here, I don't know if you can just make that out, it's holding a halo in its beak, which, when she wakes up, is going to be returned to her. Now, I think you really do have now the possibility of taking some time out to just get a mental health break, or even a physical break, have a holiday or something, but an emotional break, to get some calm, to get some peace, to listen to your inner self. Because it's saying here, I think, that you need to get something of a withdrawal from just the crazy business of life. I think what's saying here is that perhaps there are some stresses in life that are getting on top of you and creating tension, and that's not good for your body or for your spirit. And I think that the key to understanding this is to remove yourself from outside influences and distractions to the extent that you can, and take some time to just unwind and reconnect to your purpose. Revitalize, rejuvenate your body, your mind, and your spirit. And if you do that, the actual benefit that you get is rest, regeneration, healing. Now, this just well may indicate that it is time to get remove yourself from the daily pressures and difficult situations and get into a place of peaceful seclusion for some time out. Do you know, when life's disturbances start to overwhelm you, you get put off course, don't you, and exhausted. You get stressed with your mind, your body. Now, through rest, will you release the unrest and regenerate your inner spiritual strength? And this is bringing clarity to your thoughts and healing your body. I want you to allow yourself to just relax. A stillness descends, bringing the opportunity for you to look inside and make sure you are on the right path. Now, at this point, I think you are being presented with the opportunity to reflect and to assess situations or issues or people that are causing stress and anxiety. Now, because this has turned up, you do need to recognize that you do need to get some quiet time. Because do you feel like your energy is draining away and not being replenished sometimes? Because this is signaling a time for you to get some healing underway. This is saying to you, just withdraw, quiet your mind, reevaluate, and be open to possibilities that you haven't considered. So go within, create a safe, comfortable place, and just recharge your batteries. Now, speaking of you being in a position to recharge your batteries and get clarity of mind, that's what this energy is talking about. And so you are going to do it. What's happening here? The Aquarius is likely to be important to you. I think actually Capricorn and Pisces may well be important to you as well. Let's have a look at the painting just quickly, shall we? Well, there's a woman here. Well, she's gliding on top of walking on top of the water. And the second person in history to do that, if I'm not mistaken. Now walking on the water. Now she's heading off to some distant goal, I guess. Well, the water may well be the symbol of the emotions, possibly, or it could also be of pure consciousness. Now, what's happening here is this umbrella, I think, that's in her left hand. Yeah. That expresses a competence in providing for her own needs. And this sword that she's got in this other thing here, the right-hand side, which is the side of action, because it's double-edged, it cuts both ways. So it could be a symbol both of building or of tearing down. But the thing is that for you, with this married to this card here, it's a time of mental stimulation. Your intellect is coming alive and turning into fire. You are bringing about rational thoughts and aligning them with, I would say, with a spiritual awareness actually as well. It's bringing, dare I say it, an intellectual genius to you. You'll have some really good insights into things like science, art, music, and lifestyle. Your mind is going to come alive with abstract concepts and inspiration that are directed to creating things and advancing things. This is blessing you with a great imagination at the moment. You'll be very creative and inventive. And this inspiration, I think, is going to bring about some eureka moments. You do have a breakthrough, there's a mental breakthrough here, and you come out of the clouds of confusion which were brought about by this stress and into clarity. Now, if you're using your mental focus, clarity, and direction, then you're going to succeed, you're going to win, you're going to achieve things. When you use your inspired intellect in this way, you can't be stopped. This energy is penetrating deep into your subconscious, I think, and it's bringing its wisdom to light as well. Now, aces in a sense are about potentials, so they can be seen like seeds in a way. And this ace is planting the seeds of courage, justice, truth. It's bringing a movement, an urgency to you to put your ideas into action. You know that your mind is constantly absorbing information and changing thought patterns in your intellect. Well, the spiritual mind is always on the path of truth, of course. The life challenges, the clarity and the truth in the mind with distractions, illusions, creating confusion and lack of focus. I don't need to remind you about what we say here, but you see, because you had Jupiter coming into your life here, when you take that time out, it allows Jupiter, the great benefic, to come in and sort things out for you. Take time away, allow it to come in, Jupiter to do its work. This is paying off with you here, you see. Now, I think there is also here a great degree of foresight that you'll see. You'll be very good at looking behind people and their words. And if you're feeling stuck in doubt or blocked with some sort of a problem, you're just going to be able to cut through any mental fears and doubts. That's the important thing. You're going to have purpose and clarity and sort the thing out. Because it's bringing success and victory through life's challenges to you, and you're increasing your wisdom as a result. This is saying it's a time to seize the day, take action, and create new purpose in your life and align with your true destiny. And what better vehicle to do that in than this fellow here that you drew first, incidentally. Now, clearly there's a lot of Aries energy around here, and Mars, but Mars in its most constructive form, which is allowing you to move on. I just see Mars here as well, so there's a lot of Mars energy around you. Robes of royalty and guards in the back, a very solid foundation around him, as you can see here. And his number is what? IV, Latin, that's 4. Well, four is the number of the physical world. 4 directions, 4 seasons, 4 elements, 4 phases of the moon, and those 4 basic geometric figures being the triangle, the circle, the line and the square. There are many more, but 4 represents completion and starting something from a strong foundation. And I think that you've come up with some ideas here and you've got a strong foundation to do it, you see. Of course, this fellow, he's experienced, as you have, life on many levels. Pain, and we all had that. He's had war. He's dealt with hardship. He's dealt with death. He's dealt with spirituality and with love and beauty and money. And he's earned his title as the emperor, I guess, because he has gained a spiritual wisdom as a result of learning from the journey through life. I think what you are going to have now is personal power, clear judgment, focus, and you'll have excellent timing. You will be seen as being a natural leader. You'll want to exercise control over people, or even over yourself, I suppose. Maybe even to dominate someone. But I think what this energy is doing is saying to you now to find your personal power and leadership abilities, because they are in you. Now, you remember that when you were young, your innocence and vulnerability, they were influenced by the rules and traditions of your family structure and society, weren't they? Well, maybe there wasn't a great structure for you, but certainly the society around it informed you as to what your values should be. And when you grew a bit older, well, you developed, like in your adolescence, a personal code, and you began to recognize your personal power, didn't you? And then as a young adult, you began to, as all young adults do, question the world and question limiting beliefs and patterns that just didn't fit in with what your values and principles were. You see, that's a good thing. So I've got no problem at all with the young wanting to change the world. Because by recognizing and living what is true to your heart and soul, well, you gain your personal power. Now, I think this is going to be a time for you when you're going to seek adventure. You may well want to travel and explore other places. You'll have high energy and you'll be busy and ready to move. Now, I'd say to use the wisdom of the Emperor now and honor what your heart sees as being true. Build a strong and secure foundation in your life. Tap into your personal power and explore your potentials and set fire and create new ideas. You're going to have leadership skills, fairness, stability, drive, power, and great self-esteem and self-confidence. Now, I saw Mars around somewhere else, did I not? And where? Here. This is Mars, exalted Mars, because it's Capricorn as the sign, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn, which means Mars can relax and not carry on like a jerk, if I may say. And we've got Saturn ruling here as well. Well, Mars here is really the best form of itself in its fiery material energy of creation, really. There's a huge amount of procreative energy around you. There's a vitality, a humor, a sensuality, sexuality. People are going to find you very attractive, you know. A creative energy. I think you'll be something of an individual, and you could from time to time be acting on blind impulse. As I say, you're going to be irresistibly strong. Now, this painting, of course, refers to that old Greek myth of Persephone. Persephone being the girl with the dress on, and Hades, the god of the underworld. That's the doorway down into Hades, into the underworld. Well, what Hades did, Persephone was out gathering flowers in a field one afternoon, and Hades sprang up through a hole in the ground and abducted her and took her down into the underworld. And then Persephone's mom, she came around and looking for her daughter and couldn't find her and went berserk. Well, Hades, of course, he had an ulterior motive in taking Persephone underground, because I think he wanted to have his wicked way with her. And he kept her down there as a prisoner. Now, what happened was that ultimately her mom, Demeter, was the goddess of nature. And when she couldn't find her daughter, she said, right. So everything turned to winter. Nothing grew, people ran out of food, it got dark, and it was miserable for everybody. Ultimately, Zeus, the king of the gods, said, look, we can't have this going on anymore. And he sent Hermes, who later was called in Rome Mercury, down to act as a negotiator, the go-between between Mount Olympus and the god Hades of the underworld, and say, look, what's going on here? Now, this guy, if you ate anything when you were in the underworld, you were doomed to have to remain there. And so she refused to eat, but he persuaded her to just eat a seed of a pomegranate. Well, that meant she had to stay, didn't it? Anyway, the diplomacy of the messenger of the gods was that she was allowed up above ground for a number of months during the year, which made her mother happy, of course. And so we had spring and summer, and then she had to return to the underworld to be with the devil, the god of the underworld. And then there was fall, autumn, and winter, because the nature goddess was bemoaning the fact that her daughter was not with her. Villain. Anyway, what this is saying to me is that you will have a lot of endurance here. You'll be able to get things done. There is also here, I think, something of a tunnel vision to what you have set your mind on. You'll focus on things, and it's almost to the exclusion of everything else. Because the devil isn't distracted by anything, no material goal. When he's going after a material goal, he's not distracted by anything. And I think this can also refer to you having a real interest in career. You're going to be very ambitious. And I think you'll be saying to yourself, look, it's important that I also look after my own best interests. But I do think that this means that you are able to, if you're focused, really get a lot done, because he's not distracted by anything. Now, of course, it's Saturn in Capricorn. Well, Capricorn is the sign of business, career, and worldly success and social standing, isn't it? And Capricorns are usually hard workers and high achievers, so I do see you achieving things here. Saturn rules Capricorn, and Mars, as I say, is exalted in Capricorn. Now, Mars also governs your sex drive and creative energy. So there's a very strong link to the material side of life here, to self-ambition and to sex. Now, Capricorn is opposite Cancer on the zodiac wheel at its top. And an inner winter solstice being the 25th of December generally is what we bring it to, which, funnily enough, does link it for me with Christ consciousness. Now, I will say this because of the way he restricted Persephone by keeping her effectively prisoner in the underworld, that you should maybe check for anything that you're overindulging in or addictions that are stopping you from enjoying your life to the full. And do you feel restricted or imprisoned by life at all, the way she was, or by a situation that appears to be out of your control? But the thing is this, is that you actually have more influence over that situation than you think. And I do think that you need to accept that you have an ambitious side, but to see it for what it is, without becoming a slave to it. You will have a strong desire to compete, to improve, and to win. I am getting the feeling here of you being sexually attracted to someone, or having the desire for a relationship. But say at this time, though, even though there could be some people who demonize me and make out that I am like the devil, I don't care. I'm not at all impressed with that. It doesn't worry me. Accept what life gives you. Keep your feet on the ground. You say to yourself, I am a vital, joyful, and grounded person. I enjoy my sexuality. And whether my problems are real or imagined, I can handle them realistically and with good humor. And I am always the captain of my ship. And then that takes us finally, I think, doesn't it? Isn't it finally? Yes, it is finally to this King of Cups. Hello, King. Well, as you do, you have a moon for a head, holding a chalice here, standing above. It looks like the aftermath of a nuclear holocaust in the city that's there. Now, as a king, he esoterically is fire, and in cups he is water. So there's going to be some conflict within his nature. This is someone who, as a king, does not go into battle at all. He likes the good life. This is a strange person, and I think it could well be someone that you know. And it could be a man or a woman, as these court cards can be, but this is someone with commitment issues, someone who's kind of friendly but a bit passive. They've got the qualities, I think, of a Venus or a weak Jupiter. They're friendly in a passive way, but on the whole, they're so superficial that it's hard to reach their depth. Their name is written in water. They're sensitive, but shallow. And they can be very attracted to excitement, and they can have a really fanatical enthusiasm for a person or a situation or a project. This is also someone, I think, who could well have a history of just messing up their life. Because I get the feeling here that this is a person who, without any luck, could well have their career and romantic and marriage and life could well just be an unbroken record of failure and anarchy. And with these mental civil wars that's going on with them, there could well be substance abuse here. There could even be some sort of a mental illness going on. I will say this about them, though, and the gay and lesbian audience can just make the necessary adjustment. This is someone who loves the opposite sex, and the opposite sex loves them. They are very sensual and sexual, but they very charming, but not deep, ruled by their emotions, not very practical, and can be intensely insecure and needing constant reassurance about things. At worst, they're unfaithful, fickle, shallow, highly emotional, unreliable, and could just really disappoint you or break your heart if you're in that situation. But I think now might be a time when you are looking for people who've got the same sort of interests and values that you do. You want relationships with them. You want to seek out your true family. And you're going to be able to do that because you will now find the contact that is satisfying and meets your needs. Well, what a really interesting set of cards for you, and you did a great job. Well, I said that was an interesting deck, didn't I? And didn't you find it so? I think that this artwork on here is pretty good. Or, I think it's pretty good. I don't say that about a lot of tarot decks, but I enjoyed this, and it certainly spoke to me, and I'm sure it spoke to you as well. Anyway, unless I see you privately for a reading or for healing, then I'll see you again here in a month's time, next month. So, until I do see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.